Daniel Radcliffe, the boy who lived, is putting on a Hawaiian shirt and sunglasses. The actor's been growing out that curly hair and mustache to play the legendary Al Yankovic in the upcoming biopic, Weird, the Al Yankovic story. Most famous for his portrayal as Harry Potter in the wizarding world. How did such an actor land such an odd role? In this video, we'll be talking about just that. First of all, a little about Yankovic. Weird Al is known for his satirical music in the industry and gained a large audience during the 80s and 90s. When we say satirical, it means he straight up uses the exact same beat and melody of popular songs and changes the lyrics to something irrelevant and hilarious. Al made his debut and rose to fame in 1976 with the help of radio host Dr. Demento, who's played by Rainn Wilson in the biopic. 5 years later, the musician picked up his accordion, formed a band, and went on tour. He recorded tracks like I Love Rocky Road and Eat It, which were parodies of I Love Rock and Roll by the Arrows and Beat It by Michael Jackson. Eat It got a music video that was identical to the original, but with Yankovic being his goofy self in it. His first self-titled album in 1983 hit the top charts, and this convinced Al that he was pretty good at this music thing, so he quit his job as a mailroom clerk. He's had a long career, filled with the least amount of drama a celebrity can have, even though not everyone in Hollywood is a fan of his. Yankovic has also made several voice acting appearances in animated shows like The Simpsons and Robot Chicken. So how did Radcliffe, of all people, get the part in the movie? Following up with Daniel's progress to being Weird Al, we can all agree that the two don't look similar at all, but isn't resembling the person in the biopic a prerequisite to landing the role? Yankovic is a lanky, long-haired accordion maestro who's got that Southern Californian accent. Meanwhile, Radcliffe is a short British kid whose career kicked off from the Harry Potter franchise. Learning an instrument can be a very fun and interesting experience for some of us, but for the actor in the movie, it was an entirely different feeling. To perfect his role, the actor studied Al's famous instrument, which is very difficult to learn. Radcliffe said that Yankovic makes playing the accordion look so easy when it's not. Did Daniel have an accordion coach or attend any classes to be a better musician? Neither. He received video tutorials and lessons from the professional himself via email. The least they could do was go on Zoom or Skype. Isn't this the 21st century? Who even uses emails? Radcliffe had to know the lyrics to My Bologna, which is a parody of the famous song My Sharona. This was the first scene he had to perform in front of Weird Al, and he described it as a nerve-wracking experience. The former Harry Potter star was actually a huge fan of Weird Al's precursors in the industry, and this obsession is what got him the role in the upcoming biopic. Let's learn more about the inspiration behind it all. Both Yankovic and Radcliffe are fans of a math professor and part-time musician Tom Lehrer. He too parodied popular music styles like Christmas carols and folk songs. Some of his popular ones are Poisoning Pigeons in the Park and The Masochism Tango. With titles like that, you know we're in for some hilarious music. Lehrer gained popularity in the 1950s and 60s, which was 30 years before Al's debut. Speaking of the accordion enthusiast, he often cites Tom as one of his biggest influences. As a matter of fact, both performers were a part of the Dr. Demento show, but as one rose to fame, the other decided to retire. Lehrer stepped out of the music scene in 1972 to focus on his academia. He went on to teach an introductory math course to liberal art majors at the University of California. He retired from teaching entirely by 2001 and still hangs out on campus. Up next, what happened on the Graham Norton show? The one thing that played an important part in helping Radcliffe land the role of Weird Al was an interview on the Graham Norton show. In 2010, while promoting Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 1, the actor sat alongside Colin Farrell and Rihanna, where he started going on about his love for Tom Lehrer. Without hesitation, Daniel started singing Lehrer's popular song The Elements, whose lyrics are basically all the elements of the periodic table sung to the tune of Modern Major General. And like the nerd he is, Radcliffe flawlessly recited the entire song, leaving the audience and other guests speechless. It was almost as if some of them felt secondhand embarrassment for the actor, who basically listed down the names of all the elements we could never remember in chemistry class. But that's the energy you need to be the perfect Weird Al Yankovic, because the man himself watched that clip, and over a decade later, it helped him land a role in the movie that's considered to be a riot by a lot of film festivals. After screening, people are loving Daniel's portrayal as Al, and consider the movie to give you non-stop laughter and cheers from start to finish. So a movie about Weird Al has to have some sort of twist in it, right? Let's talk about the movie itself next. Lastly, what's the biopic about? The obvious answer to this question would be self-explanatory. It's a biopic, which means it's a movie about Weird Al Yankovic. To everyone's surprise, that's incorrect. Turns out the musician is on so many levels of irony and satire that the movie that describes his entire life is a parody too. We're familiar with other biography movies like Bohemian Rhapsody, Rocket Man, Elvis, and more. So it's only fitting for someone like Weird Al to over-exaggerate and dramatize events that never happened. You heard that right. The so-called biopic is completely fictitious, meaning no inspirational road to discovery and no relationship with Madonna. As for the ending, it'll probably end in something crazy and hilarious, with one of his songs playing in the background. But to know how Al's life story comes to an end, he announced his retirement back in 2021. Yep, the parody musician decided to step down from comedy and music to focus on some other matters at hand. We know he lives a private life, so we can only assume that he's now a family man to support his wife Suzanne Yankovic and his daughter Nina Yankovic. Starring the one and only Daniel Radcliffe as Al Yankovic, Evan Rachel Woods as Madonna, Rainn Wilson as Dr. Demento, and Abbott Elementary's Quinta Brunson as Oprah Winfrey. We're in for 108 minutes of a good time. In other related news, first, what was it like when the two met in person? Well, we know bits and pieces of their encounters, but we hope there was at least one moment on set where the two recreated the pointing Spider-Man meme. Yankovic said how confusing it was when he would enter his trailer that read Al Yankovic, only to find Daniel chilling there. The whole shooting process was exciting for both the actor and performer. Radcliffe said that there was nothing unusual about all of this. He would have used the word weird, but this movie probably gave that word a whole new meaning. Following up with how it did at one of the festivals. The biopic opened the Midnight Madness section of the Toronto International Film Festival and received a rapturous response. But that's not all. Usually you'd expect the audience to just sit back and watch the movie, but here, the crowd clapped, cheered, and sang along to songs like I Love Rocky Road and Amish Paradise. After the credits, the cast, including director Eric Apple, took the stage and received a heartwarming standing ovation. Judging from the current reviews and ratings, it looks like we have another sing-along movie to enjoy with even more laughs. Lastly, the Oprah actor talks about her show. The hit ABC mockumentary Abbott Elementary has another season coming up, and showrunner Quinta Brunson talked about the show's inspiration. While growing up, her mother was a teacher and had to face the same struggle almost every teacher goes through on a regular basis, from tight schedules, low salaries, and basically everything the show talks about without the humor. After expressing how important of a figure her mother was, Brunson went on about how the show barely scratches the surface of all the struggles teachers and principals go through. And when you're the child of a teacher, you get to see teachers behind the scenes. Her mother, on the other hand, was surprised how her daughter paid such close attention in her life. Norma Jean Brunson appreciated every minor detail the show covered, but added a pinch of comedy to it as well. We're very excited about what the next season has in store for us, and are absolutely positive that it'll leave us in tears of laughter. And that's all for this video. What role should Daniel Radcliffe take next? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. As always, leave a like and hit that subscribe button to see more of our content. See you in the next video.